Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Carly, aka The Connected Creative, and frankly, I can't believe I've never told you guys this story. Like, it didn't even cross my mind to tell you guys this story, even though it's truly magical and kind of crazy, if you ask me. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So yeah, I basically manifested my dream of living in California all within 1 year. I probably could have manifested it faster, but I wasn't really in the right mindset. It all started last year after I went through a really hard breakup, and don't get me wrong, I was the one who left the relationship, but it was still just as hard. Just because you're the one breaking up with someone doesn't make it easy, you know? I didn't know where I was going with my life. I felt like I had no purpose. I was completely depressed. I felt like I couldn't even get a job. I had moved back in with my mom and felt like my life was going nowhere. But the beauty in that was that I was starting fresh. I could go or do whatever I wanted, but that seemed like too big of a decision. I was like, I have no freaking clue. And my mom turns to me and she's like, you could do anything. Why don't you move somewhere else? In my mind, I was like, oh, I'll just get a waitressing job and I don't know, get a roommate, I don't know. But my mom really encouraged me. She's like, no, step outside your comfort zone, follow your bliss. She's like, what's the one thing you really love? And I was like, well, I really love the ocean. And she could sense that. We had taken a trip to Florida for a weekend and she noticed how much joy, oh my gosh, sorry. The dog that I live with is chilling in here. She's wearing a cone, yeah. Anyway, so she had noticed that the one thing that I truly, that truly lit me up was the ocean. And so I was like, you know what? I think I want to live by the ocean. That's the one thing that makes me happy. That's the one step that I can take to, make me happy. And so I didn't decide to move to Florida because even though Florida's great, it is full of a lot of people that are trying to retire. And I was, trying to go in the opposite direction and move with people, or move to a place where there's a lot of nightlife and people my age doing things that are a lot of fun and whatnot. So I was like, where else could I go that's by the ocean? And I decided that California might be a really awesome place. And at the time, it was just in the back of my mind. I was like, maybe California. I don't really know if I can make it, but it's worth dreaming about and thinking about, because what else am I gonna do? I'm either gonna sit here and be stuck in Colorado, or I'm gonna make a leap and move to California. And like I said, at the time, I was not ready. I was anything but ready. I was completely terrified, didn't really believe in myself yet. Like I said, I was depressed. I couldn't even get a job for 2 or 3 months. I kept bombing interview after interview because I just wasn't in the right mindset. My vibration was so low. Even when I would interview with people, they could probably sense that I wasn't ready. I wasn't confident enough to even wait tables, which thinking back to it makes me so sad. Wow. But anyway. So, after bombing interview after interview, I'm not kidding guys, I bombed like 3 interviews in a row, which is kind of sad to admit, but I did. I bombed 3 interviews in a row, was not good. I finally started meditating every day, which if you guys don't meditate, I highly recommend meditating. It just helps give you the space to breathe and relax and really tap into your inner power and refine that confidence, because it really did for me. I started meditating every day for like 2 weeks straight and finally felt the confidence to interview at Chili's. That's how low I was I was so sad that I could only get a job at Chili's. But anyway, getting that job at Chili's gave me the next step in confidence that I needed to move on in my life. And in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna work at Chili's for however long it takes, the summer or a year or 6 months, whatever it takes to save enough money to move to California. And I was scared out of my mind. And still, like I said, was not even sure that I would move to California. I was like, yeah, maybe I could, maybe I don't know, we'll see. Like I said, my confidence level was not quite there yet. So I started working at Chili's and I was in about $1,000 of credit card debt. So I ended up paying that off, which was fantastic. That gave me another level of confidence. Nope, my dog still. Okay, anyway. So that gave me another level of confidence that I needed. Like just working around people and making friends at Chili's, because at the time I kind of felt like I had no friends either. Like I had my mom, who's my best friend, which was awesome, and she was super encouraging and supportive and helped me work through my breakup. But having those friends that are my age at Chili's, shout out to freaking Chili's, dude, for giving me the confidence to dig myself out of the hole I'd created. So I worked there for the first 3 or for the first 3 or so months, I was just building that confidence. And then I started getting around to the 4th and 5th and 6th month, and I was like, okay, I've paid off my credit card debt. Now I'm gonna try to start saving. And so I saved up $1,000 or so and was like, okay, I still want to move to California, but I'm still scared. So I went and traveled to California for a 10-day trip by myself. And at the time I was so afraid to travel alone. I had never really done it. And it was 10 days on my own. But I wanted to go to California just to make sure. And a good thing when you're trying to manifest something is to put yourself in the area you want to be in or in the mood that you want to be in. So I think when I took this trip to California by myself, it really solidified that manifestation, because I was basically experiencing exactly where I'd be living. She's so cute. Okay. So I was basically experiencing exactly where I would be living if I did decide to make the leap. And so I did a 10-day trip where I traveled along the coastline of California to decide, obviously the coastline, because like I said, I love the ocean. My intent was to live by the ocean. That was the one thing that made me happy. And so I traveled all on the coastline, different cities, to figure out which one I wanted to be in. And I finally, the funny thing is I fell in love with the first city that I stayed in, which was Huntington Beach, California, shout out. Yeah, I ended up just really loving Huntington so much, you guys. You know something's right for you and is meant for you when it just resonates so deeply in your soul. Like, this is gonna sound really cheesy, but man, California and Huntington specifically just really resonated with me. The people felt right, the food tasted amazing, the ocean sunsets set my soul on fire. I was like, this is where I'm meant to be. I don't know why, but I'm gonna soak up as many ocean sunsets as I possibly can. And so anyway, I finished out my 10-day trip and it was beautiful and it was just amazing. Like I said, gave me another step in confidence that I needed. So basically my vibration was rising as I did all of these steps, from going through my breakup, which was I was super low vibration, to doing a bunch of job interviews that I was not good at, to meditating every day, to getting a job at Chili's, working at Chili's, and then I visited California. So like I said, I'm building these confidence boosters and momentum basically towards achieving this dream that I had. And even after I got back from California, I was still a little on the fence. I was like, okay, I really, really want to move there, but is this possible for me? I'd never moved away from my family on my own. I have moved to New Mexico, but that was with a boyfriend, with the boyfriend that we ended up breaking up. But I never moved somewhere on my own. And so I was terrified. But in my heart, I was like, I remember journaling. I was like, I can either do this and move forward with my life, or I can stay stuck in Colorado and just kind of be doing more of the same. I felt like if I took this leap of faith into my dream, into moving to California, where I knew I'd be incredibly happy, but where I knew there was a lot of uncertainty, that at least I would continue to grow and that I could at least live by the ocean. In my mind, I was like, if I can enjoy the ocean sunsets every day, even if that means I'm living out of my freaking car, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. But at the time I didn't feel that way. I had to really decide. I went through nights of just being terrified, like, can I even do this? Am I, what am I really, okay. I'm not even lying, guys. And I still, at this point, I had spent all my money on the trip. Like, literally, I had money saved up, but then I spent it all when I was in California. I was like on vacation, so I was like eating out all the time and traveling, and the plane ticket cost money, all of it. And so my savings was basically gone. I was like, well, I'm gonna have to work at Chili's for at least another 3 months. And luckily I wasn't paying rent at the time because I lived with my mom, but I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna afford this, but I'm gonna do it. Like I said, I finally wrote in my journal, was like, I am gonna do this. I wanna live by the ocean so badly. I know this is gonna help me so much in my growth and in my confidence. And so what happened is crazy though, because a month after I decided, like I said, the moment you decide what you really want, that's when true action and true power of the universe and manifestation really comes into play. You have to decide to do whatever it takes, and then the universe is like, hey, we'll make it a little bit easier for you if you want. If you allow it to be easier. A lot of people, I feel like, don't allow their dreams to come into fruition because they're so busy being like, I have to do it this one way, or it's too hard to do it, or whatever. But I decided I'm gonna do it no matter what it takes. Even if I have to live in a freaking hostel when I get here, I have to live out of my car, like, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll be a waitress, I'll work DoorDash for months if I can't get a waitressing job. But I got really lucky, okay? Here we go. I decided, didn't have the money yet, but I kind of fell into a small fortune, not a lot, don't get crazy here, but I'm not really going to tell you how I got it. Let's just say it's kind of private. How I got some money. I didn't rob a bank or nothing, don't get me wrong, but money kind of fell into my lap. A good chunk of money, enough money, like literally the perfect amount of money for me to move, or at least for me to feel comfortable moving to California, kind of fell into my lap. Like I didn't even have to work at Chili's for another couple of months like I thought I would have to. The money just kind of fell into my lap, which is kind of magical if you think about it. Really, really cool. When something's supposed to happen, when your dreams are meant to come true, the universe will provide it for you, and I full-heartedly believe that. So like I said, this money fell into my lap, and at that point I was like, well, I have no excuse not to move now. So even though I'm still terrified, I have to make this leap of faith. I have the money, I have the means, it's time. And so I spent a month. I was like, okay, here's my date that I'm gonna move. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're gonna do it no matter how scared you are. And one night I was looking through Airbnbs to stay at when I moved here, and I found the perfect Airbnb that was available for a full month. And even though I was terrified, I went ahead and booked it for a full month. And that was actually before the money kind of fell into my lap. I was kind of had a good chunk of money that was sitting there. This whole money thing doesn't make sense. Anyway, don't worry about the finances so much. That kind of all just worked out for me. It's more about the conquering of the fears and building the confidence and believing in your dream. So anyway, I booked the Airbnb because it kind of opened up perfectly. And I was like, well, if this Airbnb is so perfect and it's available for a month, at the right time, I should just book it. And so I booked it, and holy crap, you guys. So there was like a month left until I had to move, and I spent every single night questioning my decision and being worried and having to re-talk myself into it every single night. I was so scared, you guys, like literally. And now I'm just like, why was I even freaking scared? Like, anyway, what I did to help kind of ease some of that fear was I would remind myself, like, hey, you're gonna be sitting on the beach almost every day, you're gonna be living the life of your dreams. I would look up things to do in Huntington to make me feel better. Like there's a yoga session on the beach, and I was like, if I can do yoga on the beach at least once a week, that will make moving there and the struggle and fear of moving there worth it. And that kind of image of me doing yoga on the beach while the sun is setting is what got me through. And so I finally did it. I moved out here with only an Airbnb to stay in for a month, no friends, no family, no plan for a job. I was just like, I'll probably just get a waitressing job and then I'll figure out where to live after that. So the only thing I had when I moved out here was the Airbnb to stay in for a month. And I drove out here, so I did have my car and a carload of my stuff. And so I moved out here, and like, what's crazy is the universe unfolds for you when you decide that you want something, and when it's in alignment with what you really want and what makes you happy, things just work out. So I moved in with this really awesome woman who owned this Airbnb, and I rented a room from her, and she was magical in and of herself. She was a middle-aged teacher here in California, and she was so sweet and nurturing. I told her my story and how I moved out here with nothing and no one, and she was like, oh my gosh, the universe is gonna open up. She's just like me. She's like, the universe is gonna open up for you. You're gonna find a job within the next week or two. I almost guarantee it. And I was like, all right, okay, if you say so. I was like, it's already working out so wonderfully for me. And so this is gonna sound crazy, but she was right. I found a job within, I think, a week and a half. I was scrolling through Craigslist trying to find roommates just because I was like, well, I better start looking now. I have 1 month to figure it out. And so I started scrolling through Craigslist, and guys, I found an ad that seemed like an actual scam, but was actually real. Listen to this. The ad said, you can have a room in our house for free, your own bathroom, your own car. We'll pay you a certain amount every week. All you have to do is drive our 2 boys to school and pick them up every day. And basically you'll be our live-in nanny, but the boys are 12 and 15, so it's kind of an easier gig. But we're both ER doctors, so we just need you to be an extra hand around the house when we both have to work in the evenings, and to just be a consistent person to drive them to school and back. And I was like, okay, this might be a scam, but you know what, I'm gonna take a risk on it and email them a professional email anyway. And so I sent them the email, told them my situation. And the good thing is I've had experience being a nanny in the past, even with this age range of kids. Like the funny thing is my experience as a nanny is this exact age range, which is like, what are the odds that this job would open up at the exact time that I just moved to California? Like it makes my heart like just feel so like, wow, like what? It's magical. It's crazy. Wow. Okay. So anyway, I emailed this family, and it turns out they're totally real and they're totally liking me already. They want to meet up for dinner, and lo and behold, I totally get the job. Like I vibe with the family so well. The boys, like you think they might, like this is like a hit or miss situation. The boys could be really, you know, rowdy or disrespectful or not good, but the boys are extremely respectful, extremely sweet. The parents are really laid back. Like moving in with a family can be really hit or miss. Like I said, like I could have moved in with a super strict family, one that isn't in alignment with who I am, but this family, you guys, is like just incredible. Like they were so welcoming when I finally did move in, and yeah, lo and behold, I got the job. And yeah, it's just like everything fell into place so easily for me. Like it was meant to be. Because it really was. Even with all the uncertainty and self-doubt and fear that I had in the months leading up to me moving out to California, like it has totally paid off tenfold. And so now I've been living in California for 6 months or so and totally living my truth and my dream. Like I was afraid that I wouldn't have a place to live or a job to work at, but I found the perfect job and a beautiful place to live in. People are warning me like, oh, California's too expensive to live. Like you're never gonna make it out there. And I was like, you know what? It'd be worth it for me. And like I live a really comfortable life out here despite what everyone was saying. Like I have a awesome room, my own bathroom. I have more friends out here than I ever did back in Colorado. I get to go to the beach every day. It's just awesome. So that's my story. I hope it gave you some hope or inspiration if you're wanting to make a huge leap of faith like I did. Like it still seems crazy to me that this even happened, and that like I'm living my dream out here now, and I think back and like all the fear and uncertainty that I had back then, it like doesn't even matter anymore because I'm living my truth. Like I will walk out onto the beach some days with tears in my eyes, just full of gratitude because I've made this jump and never want to look back. And it only shows the true power of manifestation and law of attraction. And if you believe in your dreams and you really, really want it, you can make it happen. Just jump past your fear and self-doubt as much as you can, even in the smallest steps possible. Like it's hard to take that huge leap all at once. But if you can take one step every day, like I said, to build your confidence like I did in those first couple months of me being really depressed, then it'll all come together day by day. It did take me a whole year to finally get the confidence to move out here, but when I did, I have never been happier. So thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you connected with it in any way, and leave a comment down below if you have a dream or if you have already manifested a dream. I would love to hear about it, and I can't wait to talk to you guys next time. Bye.